So the market has bounced up quite nicely. Bitcoin has tapped at 46k resistance, and it is look like it's going to turn back to support. With that, altcoins are starting to rally now. We have seen some crazy lows over the course of the last 3 months, and if you manage to buy over the course of the last 3 months on DCA, then I think you'll be in a great position now for the future. In this video, we're going to take a look at Reef. We've not looked at Reef for a while, so in this video, we'll have a look at some key levels of support and resistance. So we'll look at areas to buy and sell, and we'll have a look at that in both the USDT and the BTC pairings. This video today is in partnership with Plutus. If you are looking to get a bank card which you can spend and earn a passive income with cryptocurrency, you can, on all your daily spend, earn up to 3%. So go ahead and check out plutus.it. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and let's crack on. So as ever, we will start off with Bitcoin and do some price analysis here. Usually I do this just so it does give a rough idea of where the market is heading. I also did cover it more in depth this morning on my live stream, so if you're wanting to get a more in-depth view on Bitcoin, go ahead and check this morning's stream out. But so far, Bitcoin is doing well. If we just get rid of this, that's what I think is going to happen over BTC. I think we're going to push up to around 51k and then reject and maybe come back down to 43, but let's delete that for now. I want to have a look at the hourly time frame because this shows, it does paint quite a good picture. We've got up to this level of resistance now at $46,000. We've actually broke above it. I mean, if you look, we've actually tapped it as support twice now. So hopefully on the lower time frames, we've managed to flip 46k to support. We are mainly really looking to flip it to support on the daily time frame, which is not quite done yet. I mean, we're looking for a daily closure above this region. Once we do close above that, I think we can then start to push on and target this next area of resistance at 51k. What this is doing now, where that's such a significant bounce from the bottom, is bringing everything else up with it. The markets are starting to look bullish. I've been bullish throughout this dip. That's only because I didn't think that was the top. Several ideas why. And one was mainly manipulation, what brought us down. We had a lot of new people in the market, which was quite overexposed, high leverage, and initially that was a dump that just kept on going. Then we had manipulation in place, so big players, whales, were accumulating vast amounts of Bitcoin then. We're now, I believe, back within that bull cycle. We was trading above the 50 all the way through, then below it, and now we are back above that 50. Also, the moving average 200 is also a great indicator as well. If you look at that, we are trading above that too, so that is also a great long-term indicator. So for me, I am bullish on Bitcoin, and with that, hopefully the entire market will follow in its footsteps. So we're going to take a look at Reef Finance. I used to do quite a few videos on Reef Finance. Lots of FUD got deployed around here. We had quite a few issues, but for me, I never sold my bag. Actually DCA'd very recently. I've bought a little bit more down at these prices. I thought it would just an unbelievable opportunity to get some prices down at here where we're pretty much close to listing. Over the course of the last 2 months, probably, they've been constantly pushing out updates. There's been so many updates, so many partnerships. I recently saw an image of the ecosystem at Reef, which is just incredible. We have so many partnerships, and for me, I am bullish on this long term. So currently we are at 2.1 cent on a good rally. This is a daily time frame here. Let's just have a look at a weekly first off, actually. I want to see if we've got any levels of resistance we can identify before we go into that. So that's the first level of resistance there. If you look at, we'll put the extended horizontal line on this. So if you look at that wick there, we're rejected, come away through it and rejected off here. Whenever I'm looking for areas of resistance, I'm looking for 2 wicks, which either tap it to a T or a lot of wicks within that area. So you could also box method this, because if you look, we're 1, 2 wicks there, 3 wicks. There's about 5 wicks within that range there, so that to me looks like it is a solid area to break through, and that's around 2.3 to 2.5 cents. So that is going to be the first major hurdle for us to break through. Dropping into the daily though, this is where we're going to do most of the analysis. You can see we are pushing up, but remember, I think once we do hit here, we may get a potential rejection, but we'll analyse this latest move here, because if this does turn out to a top, we will start to roll over. One thing to note is that if you look down here on the Vuman Shoe cipher B, this red box here, or this red line should I say, is money flow. That's a negative money flow. whenever you're looking to swing trade or invest, you really want to see positive money flow like we did back then. In that major cycle up, we had green money flow. That was positive money going into a market and buying it up. Then we had a lot of negative money, people selling. Now that is just, if you zoom right in, just ticking green. So that shows that there is positive money flow coming into Reef now, and that's the same across a lot of altcoins. But just be wary that we could drop at some stage. This might just go tick back red. If we're going to look for some buy zones, we'll analyse the bottom here where that double tweezer top bottom. Right, if we're looking for some buys, you could potentially look at 1.7 cent. That could be a decent area for you to target. Depends where this move stops. So we could, so for example, if we hit resistance up here, you could look at 1.8 cent. So what I would do is I would potentially ladder some orders down from 1.8 cent all the way down to this area of support here, all the way down to that 618, in fact, at 1.59 cent. So orders from 1.8 cent down to 1.5 cent is an area where I would look to potentially place some orders. I think so far things are looking good, but that first area of resistance there, 2.3 cent, I think it will be a major hurdle for us to break through. So, but all in all, things are looking bullish. If we do break above that, then the next area of resistance I've got is up at 3.7 cent. And then we are into a target for them all-time highs up at 5.8 cent. That will be broken, in my opinion, this year. I think that will be smashed. In fact, I think we're going to go up towards 10 cent plus over the course of the next few months, as long as this new bullish momentum we have found does continue. There's also that possibility of Bitcoin does something random and Elon Musk tweets about some energy bollocks and it drops back down to test this 37k level. So just be wary about that. But in terms of Reef, I've lost it. There it is. So far, so good. We've not really seen much price action in this over the course of the last 6 months. I mean, we did see a major rise, but that was to be seen as we did have that listing, and there was a lot of FOMO around then, lots of FUD deployed, and it's just naturally brought it down. To be honest, when we had that FUD deployed, wasn't too bad. I mean, we did get some savage wicks down, but everything got bought up. So for me, it seemed a little bit weird that there was so much FUD in play, but not many major drops. So it just showed that people were happily buying it up, and then this drop was just people basically shitting their pants and selling up. So that's that pair covered. I just want to take a look at the BTC pair, because I know people do trade in sats. I don't personally, but it's always good to monitor it. Absolutely no idea what's going on there. That's from the past. So we've already got 2 levels marked up here. This is a major level of resistance at 98 satoshis. And then we have a next major level here at 57. And we're currently trading at 47 satoshis. Usually what I would say is, when I'm doing some altcoin analysis, is that, in my opinion, I think Bitcoin is going to go on a rally at some stage. Whether that be the next few weeks, tomorrow, a few months' time, at some stage it's going to bring the market dominance of Bitcoin up. I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance here to trade up to around 52%. If that does happen, the Satoshi pairs will start to feel the burn. That's nothing against Reef, that's just that's how the market works. If Bitcoin goes on a rally, Satoshi pairs die off. And if that did happen, then you could look at buys back down here around 35 Satoshis. I think if you look at all these wicks there, 1, 2, 3, about 5 wicks in there, I think if you're looking for buys, that could be a decent area to potentially place some orders at around 35 Satoshis. And then obviously the first major barrier to get through is 57 sats. But let's see if the dollar pair does drag it up. Again, money flow, it's still in negative equity, and there's a good chance that it looks like it's going to tick to the upside, but we're just not quite sure on that, are we? So I would be more in favour of buying in the dollar pair, because I think dollar pairs are going to follow Bitcoin up. Satoshi pairs usually follow Bitcoin down when that's going up, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and that's going to do it then. That's just some analysis on Reef and BTC. Levels for you to buy, levels for you to sell. That's all we talk about on this channel, really. Nothing too in depth. Fingers crossed, Bitcoin currently at 46k. We can manage to maintain that level, flip that to support, and that will be another bullish feather in the cap for Bitcoin. That's going to do it for today's video. Like I say, the sponsor of this video is Plutus. Go and check him out on plutus.it. A few things: if you are not in my Telegram, you'll find that link in the description of this video. Crypto Troops, 3,500 people in there, general crypto chat. Also, if you are new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button. And I'll catch you next time.